Video 51, Triangles and Polygons. Let's start with triangles. One way to classify triangles is by their angles. This triangle is an acute triangle. It's an acute triangle because it has three acute angles. So if you look at these angles, they're all less than 90 degrees. So that makes it an acute triangle. Now a right triangle is a triangle that has one right angle. So it has one 90-degree angle. And that makes it a right triangle. A triangle that has one obtuse angle, which is an angle that's more than 90 degrees, makes it an obtuse triangle. Now, a triangle with congruent sides, congruent means that all the sides are the same length, or all the angles are the same. So, congruent sides are sides that have the same length. An equilateral triangle has three congruent sides. So this triangle here that has three for each of its sides would be an equilateral triangle. An isosceles triangle is a triangle that has at least two sides that are congruent. So this triangle has two sides that are 3 and one that's 4, so that makes it an isosceles triangle. A scalene triangle has three different lengths. So for instance, this one is 3, 4, and 5. So all the sides are different lengths, so that makes it a scalene triangle. These three definitions define a triangle based on its side lengths. So whether it has all equal sides, at least two equal sides, or three different sides, makes it equilateral, isosceles, or scalene. These definitions define a triangle by its angles. If it's acute, it has three angles that are less than 90 degrees. If it's a right triangle, it has one of its angles that's 90 degrees. And if it's an obtuse triangle, it has one of its angles that's greater than 90 degrees. Now let's look at this equilateral triangle. Its angles are all 60 degrees. So each of these angles are 60 degrees. And to show that the angles are congruent, they all have one line. Now, all of its sides are also congruent. So we have three sides, and this is how you show that the sides are congruent. Is use the same little tick mark. Okay? There are three sides. If I take three sides times 60 degrees, that means that the total measures of all the angles inside this triangle is 180 degrees. That's true of all triangles. So, because this is true, we can discover angles like x here. So if I know this triangle's angles equals 180 degrees, then I can add 28 degrees, this angle right here, to this angle, plus 75 degrees, plus x, and those three angles should add up and equal 180 degrees. So if I start by adding these two, I get 103 plus x equals 180. Now I'm going to subtract 103 because that is going to undo adding 103. And that gives me 77 degrees equals x. So now I know the measure of that angle. Here's another example. Again, all my angles should equal 180 degrees. If I add them together, 35 plus 45 plus x, I should be able to get 180 degrees. So let's add 35 and 45. That gives me 80 plus x equals 180. I'm going to undo adding 80, so I'm going to subtract 80 from both sides. I get 100 equals x. So that means that this angle right here is 100 degrees. Now, there are different kinds of angles for this triangle here. Some of them are what we call exterior angles, and some are interior angles. My exterior angles are outside my triangle, and they're formed by a line from my interior and my exterior angle. So, angles 1, angle 4, and angle 5 are all what we call exterior angles. But angle 2, angle 3, and angle 6 are all interior angles. And that's because they're inside my shape. So these three are my interior angles. Now, to find the measure of an exterior angle, notice that my exterior angle and my interior angle form a 180 degrees, or a straight angle. So, y plus 49 should give me 180 degrees. That means I should be able to subtract 49, because that's undoing adding 49 from both sides. And I should get y equals 131 degrees. So that means this angle right here is 131 degrees. So angle y equals 131 degrees. Alright, let's classify triangles using angles and side measures. So we'll start with this one. Notice I have two acute angles, and then I have this one obtuse angle. Because one of the angles is obtuse, my triangle is classified as obtuse. Now if you notice, this triangle has three angles that are acute. So that means that my triangle must be an acute triangle. This one now has two acute angles and one 90-degree angle. Well, a 90-degree angle is a right angle, so this means that this is a right triangle. So this is classifying triangles by their angles. Now we can also classify triangles by the lengths of their sides. This one has two sides that are the same and one that's different. That makes this an isosceles triangle. This triangle has three side lengths that are different, so that makes this a scalene triangle. And this triangle has three sides that are the same. Now it could be an isosceles triangle, but it would be more precise to call it an equilateral triangle, because all of its sides are equal. So here I classified my triangles by their angles. Here I classified the triangles by the side lengths. Now let's learn about polygons. Alright, let's start with what a polygon is. A polygon is a geometric figure that is made up of three or more line segments. That means it's not made of curves but straight lines. And those line segments intersect only at their endpoints. So if you look at here, the lines only intersect at their endpoints. Okay. Let's look at different kinds of polygons. A quadrilateral is a kind of polygon, and it's made up of four line segments. A trapezoid is a quadrilateral. It's a special kind of quadrilateral, but it only has one pair of parallel sides. So if I draw a trapezoid, notice that these two sides are parallel, but these two are not. So it has only one pair of parallel sides. Now, a parallelogram actually has two sets of parallel sides. So, If I was to show this one, this side is parallel to this side, and then this side is parallel to this side. And I show this with the little triangles, or the little arrows showing which sides are parallel. A pentagon, or actually a rhombus here, is a special kind of parallelogram. And it's usually, oops, that didn't work. Let's try another one. Alright? A rhombus is a special kind of parallelogram that has all the same side lengths. So a rhombus is a four-sided shape. That makes it a quadrilateral. It's also a parallelogram, but it's a special kind of parallelogram because all of its sides are the same length. A pentagon. A pentagon is a shape with 5 sides. A hexagon has 6. A heptagon has 7. And an octagon has 8. All of these are polygons. Okay, let's learn a little bit more about it. It says, tell whether the figure is a polygon. Well, is this a polygon? No, because it has this curved section. So no, that's not a polygon. And remember, a polygon is made up of line segments, and this right here is not a line segment. Alright, this shape, though, is made up of line segments. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. So if this shape has 6 sides, that makes it a hexagon. Because a 6-sided shape is called a hexagon. Now let's look at the next shape. Well, it's made of line segments, so it's definitely a polygon. Let's see how many sides it has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, a 5-sided shape is a pentagon, so we would call this shape a pentagon. Here's another one. It's made of line segments. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not the same shape as that one, but it's a 5-sided shape, so it's also a pentagon. This shape is made of line segments. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it would be a hexagon. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sides. So we're going to call this a heptagon because it's a 7-sided shape. Now, there's another way to look at polygons. There's a set of special polygons called regular polygons. And they're regular because all their sides and angles are congruent, or what we call equal. So if you look at this shape, see how the angles are all marked with one line. That means they're equal. And all the sides have one tick mark. That means that it's equal. So that would be a regular polygon. Okay, let's look at this polygon. Well, it has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, so it's a quadrilateral, but it only has one side set of parallel sides. And the shape with only one set of parallel sides is what we call a trapezoid. Okay? It's not regular because if you look here, these angles are different lengths than these angles, or different degrees. And these two sides are not the same length as these two sides. So this is not a regular polygon. This one, right, you can see these two are parallel and these two are parallel. It has 4 sides that are congruent because they're made of one tick mark. And then it has 4 right angles. So this would be a regular polygon, and it's what we call a square because all its side lengths are the same. So this is the end of video 51.